And that should be us live. Hello, oh, 1 second. All right, we're good. Hey, Narukami, how's it going? How was your Monday? See, what was Monday in Japanese? Getsuyobi, I think that's right. Still in dark. Yeah, that's about right. That's the Persona 3 experience right there. Yeah. All right, it's been a while. Haven't played Ace Attorney in a bit since I was out of town for 2 weeks. So, I'm kind of hazy on, like, the details of how the case is going. So, I'm just gonna hop in and I'm gonna run through the evidence, the court record, and try to summarize what I remember. My Monday was great, although I was tired for most of it, because I went to sleep at, like, 4 in the morning. Which I know you go to sleep later than that, but then I woke up pretty soon after. I don't know. It was a tiring Monday, but it was, it was good. Alright, let's head into the game. And let's hope everything works out properly. Let's see. Bridge to the turnabout. Here we go. Wait, this is not our... What? Where's our save file? Is this not our... Wait, what? Why is it... Oh, part 4. Okay, for some reason my mind completely skipped over the 4 and I thought, part 1? Oh shit, did I forget to save? Nope, turns out I'm just stupid. Okay, good to know. I didn't realize we were going into a trial today. I thought we still had some more investigating to do, but I guess I didn't. Oh yeah, that's right. I decided to go ahead and just finish the investigation completely last time. It's probably not a smart idea considering my microphone was unmuted the whole time, so, you know. Yeah, let's run through the court record. See if we can remember what's up. Right, Occult Magazine, that's not relevant to the case. Temple map, and right, that's where the orb was found. I'll go back to the temple map once I gather all my thoughts and try to, lay them out and stuff. Stream in the background, write something in chat from time to time, though. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to see it. I, hope this new setup is, the setup that I have going right now with the chat up on my monitor has been working. It worked on Sunday with Persona 4, but, anytime you are playing a different game, there's a chance that something breaks. So, if I don't see your chat message, I will be, like, tabbing out of the game periodically to see if I've missed anything, but so if I take a bit to get to your chat message, it's probably because I haven't seen it because this setup is broken or something. Okay, so yeah, let's go through. Hanging scroll, Misty Fey, images obscured with gravy. Right, so pearls through gravy on the picture because of the letter that she got, which said, right, gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades, right? And because Pearl doesn't know what the fuck this means, she just thought, oh, my light is off. She just thought, all right, I'm just gonna throw gravy on her. So there we go. That's that. So yeah, the oh, that's interesting. Okay, I need to move that so that it's not in the way. Okay. Let me instead just make it smaller then. right now, it's getting in the way. Should do it? Hopefully? We'll see. Think that should be fine. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. I was just resizing my chat because it was on top of the little arrow key and I wasn't able to hit it. Okay, yeah, I literally just tabbed out of the game and a new chat message appeared. Okay, so it seems that with Ace Attorney, this setup just doesn't work. Okay, well, I guess we're back to using my phone then. Which is sad, but at least it works during I have no idea why it does not work in Ace Attorney. It legitimately makes no sense, but whatever. So I guess I just need to pull up the stream on my phone. So I guess I just need to pull up the stream. Alright. Chat's there. I'm actually gonna just prop it up against the screen so that it's I'm not looking as far down. When I want to look at it, I can just look at it over there. Yeah, okay. I also need to just change something in the options menu real quick. Let's head back out to the title screen. Because I tried to make, because it wasn't working before, so I tried to make it work by setting this to windowed instead of full screen. But it doesn't work, so yeah. Well, I'm just gonna switch back over to full screen, and looks like the stream is handling that fine. So that's good, that's good. Okay, yeah. Let's go back to getting through the court record. So, right, the gravy, which pearls through, essentially proof that the letter was for her, and the fact that she actually went ahead and carried it out. Photo of Elise, again, nothing really important, although her real name is, Misty Fey? Misty Fey, right? Yeah, okay, and it is in our court record, so that will likely come in useful at some point. The hood... Right, we know that there's multiple hoods everywhere, and so it's definitely possible for someone, Pearls, to have acquired a spare hood and used it to disguise themselves as Iris. However, Iris did not have it on at the time, so that's important knowledge. Weather data. Lightning strike. Right, okay, so... Oh, right, the snowmobile tracks... Okay. Right, so the snowmobile tracks are only one way, which means before 1050, Iris was by the bridge with the snowmobile. Sometime after or around 1050, she picks up, well, she heads back on the snowmobile to the temple. And that gives roughly 50 minutes of time where the bridge, yeah, okay. So the bridge catches fire before she, or around the time that she leaves back to the temple. 30 minutes pass, that's fine. The Shichishito is not the murder weapon. It was used by Iris to conceal the real murder weapon, which was quite possibly this? The only issue being that there is no blood. So, I mean, I suppose it's possible that they actually went a step further and washed all the blood off of the staff to, you know, even if someone were to find the fact that she had a hidden blade, they'd think that, they'd still not think of it as a murder weapon. But also, I'd like to point out the fact that, that staff is huge. Meaning that this, despite the fact that here it looks like it would be wielded like a rapier or something, this is basically a great sword. You would have to swing that shit two-handed. That shit is so much bigger than it looks when you take into consideration the actual size of the staff. The autopsy report, right, time of death was between 10 and 11, and if we assume the earliest we can go, it's 10, then the timeline should work out. Blood fell 10 feet after death. The question is, did it really fall? Lights up bell at 10 p.m. At night from main gate to Dusky Bridge. Right, that's, again, the tracks. That's not really useful to us. Alright, Larry's sketch is huge, and we'll get to that in a second. Crystal sphere, the outcropping near Dusky Bridge, there's blood on it, came from the victim's staff. Right. Talisman, again, proving Elisa's true identity, and the burnt letter telling Pearls to channel Dahlia after the bell. Yeah, okay. And then let's go over the profiles real quick. Maya still trapped in the inner temple. Probably because this was actually all part of the plan. They also wanted to kill her, right? So the whole plan concocted by, fuck, what's, Morgan Fey. There she is. Morgan Fey. Actually, now that I think about it, it's quite a similar name to Morgan Le Fay, you know, the witch from the King Arthur myth, so that's pretty cool coincidence there. But, that's probably intentional, if I had to guess. Right, so the plan was to murder Elise, who was actually Misty Fey, and then, Maya just so happened to be there, so I guess they decided, well, we'll snuff her out as well, you know? Or perhaps killing Maya was always part of the plan? The issue there is, how would they guarantee that she would actually arrive at the temple, you know? Mia, useless, although might be useful on our boy Armando. Pearl Fey. Right, so Pearl channeled Dahlia at the direction of her mother. Technically committed the crime? Possibly. We'll see about that. And then, was, you know, left on the other side near the inner temple until we repaired the bridge and found her there. Got Diego Armando, I should say. Not exactly relevant to the case. On-site detective at the local precinct in charge of the initial investigation. Again, not relevant. Heading on at Hazakura, discovered the murderer. The bad back really bothers her. Right, so Bikini's travel from the temple is really crucial piece of information. Especially if we take a look at her testimony. Which I believe was here. Oh no, do we not have her testimony on record? I guess we don't. Well, that's fine. I think I remember the key points. Those being that she met Iris at the temple, at the inner temple, then she headed back to the main temple, and at that point then she went to take a bath, and when she came out, she saw Iris stabbing the sword into Elise. Then Doxnim, right? Not really useful. Iris. Right, okay, so we know for a fact that Iris rung the bell at 10, meaning that she could not have made it to the temple, to the inner temple in time to meet with Sister Bikini. We know for a fact that she wasn't there. Also, Sister Bikini saw someone wearing a hood, and she was not wearing a hood. What we know about what she did is that at some point before 10:50, she went out to the bridge, and at some point after 10:50, she came back to the inner temple, and, got to doing some stuff. We know she took out the murder weapon from the victim. That's what Sister Bikini saw when she passed out, and then impaled it with the shichishito and, set up the body. Larry witnessed the person flying by the bridge. Von Karma, sad she's not prosecuting anymore. Edgeworth, the best boy. Not really useful to the case. Morgan Fey's sister and Iris' twin sister. She was executed last month. Good fucking riddance, although it seems she's come back with a vengeance. And the true mastermind behind it all, Morgan Fey. Now, I'm gonna go pull up the temple map so I can try to visualize everything that's been happening. So, sometime before 10, before the bell rings, at Hazakura Temple, Phoenix meets with Iris, who gives him his hood. So after 10, Iris no longer has her hood on, and he meets with Morgan, who, both of which then have alibis right before 10. However, Pearls is missing. So sometime before 10, Pearls headed out from Hazakura Temple and headed to the inner temple. Sometime after then, Elise headed to the inner temple, or Misty headed to the inner temple looking for Pearl. At 10, Iris rings the bell at Hazakura Temple. Then likely immediately after or sometime after that, she heads over to the bridge on the snowmobile. It's still snowing at the time. Now, over at the inner temple, on her way to the inner temple, Pearls hears the bell from Hazakura Temple, at which point she channels the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne, who then heads to the inner temple, who then probably gets some clothes. Actually, it's possible that Isis met her over here. No, it's not possible. It's not possible at all. She must have been instructed to get some clothes. She puts on a disguise to make herself look like Isis and heads to the inner temple, where she meets Sister Bikini. With the hood on, the channeling transfiguring her body, and the fact that they're sisters means that Sister Bikini truly believes that it is Iris standing in front of her, not Pearls channeling Dahlia. At which point, Sister Bikini heads back to Hazakura Temple. Then, at the inner temple garden, Elise meets with Dahlia, who has likely trapped Maya inside the temple by then. At which point, the murder happens. We still have no idea how it went down, although the cane sword is a likely murder weapon. But Elise is murdered in the inner temple garden, at which point Dahlia somehow manages to get her over to the other side of the cliff. Now, this is interesting because I would guess that she was somehow tossed over the river. That would explain the bruising on the body, and being consistent with it falling 10 feet, as well as why the orb was knocked off of the staff. It would also explain the bridge should have been on fire by then, and that would be the only way to get her across, and it would also explain Laurice's what Laurice witnessed with the woman flying over the bridge. I'm not monologuing, I'm trying to get my head around the case. It's been a while since I played this game. So by then, Sister Bikini has arrived at Hazakura Temple and gotten in the bath. Then through some means, although I have no idea how, Elise's body is launched over the crevice and it lands over here. When the ball falls off. At which point, Isis picks up the body and takes it in the snowmobile back to Hazakura Temple. Meanwhile, Dahlia leaves Pearl's body, who then grabs the gravy and tosses the gravy on the Misty Fey portrait and is then trapped at the inner temple until we arrive to rescue her. Then, arriving at Hazakura Temple, Iris removes the sword from the victim's body just as Bikini gets out of the bath, and that is what she witnesses and testifies to. Bikini passes out, and then Isis impales the body with the Shichishito and puts it in the puts it on the statue to make it look like the statue killed Misty. Then Phoenix, he arrives, having heard the scream from Bikini, sees the murder scene, and the rest is history. So really, the biggest questions are, what was the full extent of the plan as written out by Morgan? Was some part of it improvised, perhaps? Because obviously the bridge being lit on fire, I don't think it's something they did on purpose. I think it was just a random coincidence. So they must have had to think of how to throw the body on the spot, unless burning the bridge was always part of the plan, and the fact that a lightning strike happened was just a very good coincidence that makes it look like it isn't. So we need to know how the body was moved from thrown from one side of the bridge to the other. Perhaps some kind of pulley system? Actually, yeah, a pulley system set up on this hill and this hill across the rivers beforehand could theoretically be possible. I mean, in the dead of night, no one would actually see the pulleys, and then they could just simply be taken down the day after. And we also need to know what the murder weapon is and how the murder actually happened, how that actually went down. Although if my whole theory and my whole, like, prediction is correct, then that means that while Dahlia was controlling her actions, under the non-spiritual legal system, Pearls is technically the murderer. So we'll have to see how that pans out. This actually feels kind of similar to the, Turnabout Reunion when... Or, no, not Turnabout Reunion, Rise from the Ashes, added to the original game as DLC, where, for the vast majority of the case, we think that it's going to come out that Emma actually killed Joe Dark. I mean, not Joe Dark, Neil Marshall, when in reality, then it's a big flip and it was Chief Gant all along. So I feel like the game is probably gonna make us think that we're gonna have to accuse Pearl and all this, and then at the last moment we're gonna find a crucial piece of evidence and it's gonna be someone else or something. Or perhaps the game will actually decide to go ahead and make us have to convict Pearls for it, even if it would be unjust. Alright, whatever. I think I'm ready to continue. How do you remember so much stuff? Well, I mean, I didn't remember half of this stuff. I looked over the court record, and that jogged my memory, and then I was able to put together most of the stuff from there on. I remember I ran through all of this last time before I left, so it was just a question of jogging my memory and then using logic to just piece it back together from the pieces of memory I had left. Alright, so Pearls, sorry, but we're gonna have to put you in prison. Sorry about that. Oh, maybe. We'll see how it goes. Good morning. Are you by yourself? Morning, Pearls. Mr. Dick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mr. Maya. I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. Oh, I see. So, is Sister Isis still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall? No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple, right? She has to be in court during her trial. She's required to be in court. And how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? I have to admit, it is kind of strange, unless they're planning to get her to testify and she's being coached right now? Yeah, okay. I'm guessing Gato? If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Oh no, it's Edgeworth. Well, they both have deep voices. How to farm Taraja Gem, like the ones using P4 for escaping to go home. Taraja Gems. I mean, I know they spawn in chests, but I don't think farming them is really a good idea. I actually find Go Home or Taraja Gems really useless in P3, considering most of the floors have a teleporter that will bring you right back to the floor. Yeah, in Persona 4, you literally have to climb all the way down the steps to the first floor of the dungeon to get out, which means Go Homes are extremely useful. But in Persona 3, you can just find an access terminal and just teleport back to the first floor. So I found them quite useless, but I think the I think you might be able to buy them at the antique shop at Polonium Hall during the daytime, though. So, not sure. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. What do you mean you're stuck? How are you stuck? Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession. Or so I heard. Yeah. Maybe she'll try to protect Pearls and try to confess herself? We can't let her do that. Oh, Death has shown up! Death is there. I'm at the staircase full of golden enemies. I mean, I don't think the Reaper can actually interrupt a fight. So you might be fine just going for the golden shadows if you can, and then, you know, as long as you always are between the Reaper and the staircase, you should just be able to get up the staircase before he gets to you, you know? Also, keep in mind, the Reaper can go upstairs, so just standing on the steps won't save you. You need to actually go to the next floor. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. Right, it's Gato, which, quite honestly, I have mixed feelings about this, you know? On one hand, I love Franziska. She is best girl. So I would love to have her in court again. But on the other hand, Gato is just gonna make this so fucking easy because he's just such a bad prosecutor. Like, you know how most shadows are unable to go up steps? So if you just stand on the steps of the staircase, you're fine. The Reaper can go on the steps. It can't follow you to the next floor, but it can step on the staircase. So you can't just stand on the steps and expect to be safe like you can with other shadows. What? And who is he? And for anyone who's wondering, we're talking about Persona 3. Who else would it be but Gato? Gato? Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. You know what? I'm honestly quite sad that we didn't get Gato in the defendant's chair. In the defense, playing the defense last time, because seeing Edgeworth completely obliterate Gato and just laugh at how bad of a prosecutor he is would have been delightful. Absolutely delightful. Because, like, Gato is garbage. The only reason he stands a chance is because Phoenix is, like, an idiot who doesn't understand the legal system. So he just lets Gato get away with the dumbest shit that he should never be allowed to get away with. Edgeworth actually would, like, call him out and object to all his shit, you know? What, you've never seen this Edgeworth sprite? It's fantastic. It's him being really smug.
A sacred cavern? You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She has been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Gato intends to nail this case shut today. Prepare to fight like there's no tomorrow, right? Hey, Edgeworth, how'd you like to be assistant counsel today, you know? Or co-counsel, actually. You know, we don't have Maya, so we need someone backing us up. I mean, you'd be perfect. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made the decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold onto someone else. Literally. And with that, I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. You can't just say it all of a sudden! Oh, my heart! Oh, I can't take this! Come on! Come on! Wright and Edgeworth law offices, or Edgeworth and Wright, let's do it! Let's partner up! Thanks. You have no idea how long I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Doxnam, Miss Misty Fey. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. Yeah, so my interpretation essentially gets rid of all the mysteries. The only real mystery left is how the fuck did they throw a body over the ravine? Because that's a pretty big ravine. Like, does the map have a scale? It does not. Who the fuck makes a map and doesn't add a scale? That's so dumb. Whatever. Who drew this map? Was it Gumshoe? It was probably Gumshoe. I'll solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. February 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 7. Turns out it's actually like 5 feet across, and Phoenix just sees it as longer because he's scared of heights. That would be a twist. It would also explain how the fuck they threw the body across. But I'm not holding out my hope for that much. That's a bit optimistic. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Hi, Gato. Your Honor, what are you... Who? Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. Wait, they're brothers? Huh? I completely, because this is the judge we usually have, so I completely forgot about the fact that we had the other judge, before then. Interesting. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Oh no, we passed our cold on to the judge. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. So the prosecution, the defense, and the judiciary have all been swapped out. It's almost like it's a brand new case, you know? I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. I don't think have you ever met him? Well, I mean, you met him once during the trial of, Luke Atney as Masque Damask. But you never had him as a judge in court, I don't think, because the only two times we've seen him, was Mia versus Edgeworth and Edgeworth versus Von Karma. Just imagining the card having his own courtroom fridge. Well, of course I do. Where do you think I keep the sandwiches I eat during all the breaks? I have to keep up my judiciary physique, you know? Plus, Mr. Wright's bullshit makes me want to have a couple of beers at hand at all times. Hey, I heard that, Your Honor. My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. Oh shit, I'm getting a phone call. Give me a second. I'll leave you with the Gato theme because it's one of the best songs in this entire fucking game. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, so I was planning to walk my dog, after the stream was over. However, it looks like it's about to start pouring rain, and it's not gonna end for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and go walk the dog. So I'll be back in some amount of time. I'll try to keep it brief because it's probably about to start pouring, so I'll probably be back in like 10-15 minutes, alright? So yeah, I'll be back. I'll leave the Gato theme on because it's so fucking good. Okay, we're back. Let me unpin the message for when we were gone. I actually got back earlier than I expected. I guess my dog really did not like the winds that are building up, considering, I mean, there is a hurricane coming eventually here, so, you know, that'll be fun. So yeah, my dog literally peed like twice and then immediately wanted to get back inside, so yeah, that was that. So I got here around 10 minutes, and then I decided, fuck it. I said up to 15, so I might as well take the extra 5 minutes and go ahead and brew myself a cup of tea, which I always do before a trial, but I just didn't know today was a trial day. So, yeah, let's continue. I've got my, Fortnum and Mason English breakfast tea, and yeah. I mean, it's customary, you know? He's drinking coffee, I'm drinking tea. It works out, you know? We gotta prove that we're better than him. That's what this is about, truly, at the end of the day. Alright, let's continue. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. And this is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment.
Well said, Mr. Gatto. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyways. Now then, Mr. Gatto, please proceed with your opening statement.
Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world.
That's how you show dominance, you know?
The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
Yeah, I like my tea sweet. I don't know about you. I mean, it's not that I don't like bitter. Bitter can be great, you know? But when it comes to tea, when it comes to, like, I need something to, like, wake me up, nah, the sweetness is very crucial.
So then, you mean... forget it. What do you mean?
Plus, sweet tea goes a lot better with scones than bitter tea. Every single British person is gonna want to kill me for that, but it's the truth.
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime.
Yeah, sugar is really unhealthy, so I use Splenda. I actually prefer the taste of Splenda to actual sugar. I think the bitterness of English breakfast goes along beautifully with that very specific taste of Splenda. You know? Ah! Squeezing out the last drops of tea from the tea bag. It's so hot, it hurts. Ah! 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 At least I'll build calluses like this. I'm trying to learn the guitar, so hopefully burning my fingers will help build calluses faster, you know? English breakfast is just sausage and cheese. I am a bit of a tea-a-boo, you know?
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has had a change of heart.
Literally, Gatto has an intelligence of 1 and a charisma of 10. Holy shit. Like, that really is the truth.
Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make.
Confession? The defendant?
And she didn't even consult with her counsel. Motherfucker. Iris. Why didn't she discuss this with me first? Probably because she's being blackmailed, or she thinks this is for the best. She's trying to protect someone. She's trying to make sure the plan goes off without a hitch. I have no idea what the plan is. But she's playing her role. She's just the pawn in this whole thing.
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession.
Oh, Doesn't seem like the brightest banana in the bunch, so cross-examining her should be easy. She's no Dahlia, I'll tell you that much.
Upon meeting a beautiful lady, I always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
It's also kind of your job, you know?
My name is Iris. I'm but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something you want to confess to?
Yes. But first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright. What is it? Is she gonna say my true name is Dahlia Hawthorne? Is she actually going to try to play the role of her supposedly dead sister to take the fall? That would be an interesting turn of events. Oh, that is beautiful. Nothing better than tea with honey and Splenda. It is truly a magnificent wombo combo. Just that 1-2-3 punch, you know? And plus, Fortnum and Mason is just, oh, such good flavor. Yeah. Ah. All right, Gato. Let's fight. It's all right. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Okay, so it's not going to be as ridiculous as I thought it might be. Okay. 68 subs. Yeah, we lost on overnight for some reason. I don't know.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Doxnam?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place.
This much is true, and it is consistent with our views of the case.
After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise, carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it.
Right, this is pretty much what we already knew happened, right? Or wait, I actually don't remember if we actually fully understood her role in the crime during the courtroom. I mean, during the last trial, or if I just came to that conclusion during the investigation. Oh, that burns, but it's delicious.
What? Order! Order in the court! Order! Witness! Are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? Well, at least well, I'll get you an innocent. I'll get you the innocent verdict on being a murderer. Can't help you with accomplice because I legitimately believe you are one. 3 minutes in court, I'm already covered in a cold sweat.
Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just so happens to be that in this case, it's to murder.
So what are you an accomplice to? Bad prosecution? Injustice? Stupidity in general?
Isn't that right, Mr. Trite?
Pettiness too, that one also too. Ah, Gato. So this is the confession they were talking about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie. Was it now? Iris' testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. Oh no, the previous testimony. Wait, no, but I wanted to read that. God damn it, no! Ah, that's important stuff. She did ring the bell though. That testimony legitimately had important information.
Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up with your actions?
Iris is covering for someone. I'm definitely going up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Asagura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Kurain tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family? Where have I heard this before?
Yes, that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Kurain channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey.
Huh? What does she have to do with anything?
Wake up and smell the coffee, Tripe.
Sorry, but I'm gonna go with tea on this one. Ah, it's a great smell. And now it's at perfect temperature. Just cold enough to not burn your lips, but hot nonetheless. She's naming Maya. Yeah, she's trying to incriminate Maya.
Order, order in the court! So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer?
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my own eyes, and then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
That's ridiculous. Maya would never. You've already accused her of 2 murders already, and none of them have panned out, so give up!
Her defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going this direction. The real murderer.
I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden.
You went to the inner temple? I'm sorry for the fake laugh, but this is too funny. You can't. I thought you were gonna give me a challenge. You can't destroy your entire testimony in the first sentence. Come on. I thought we could get closer to the truth here, you know?
I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike.
Okay.
Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
Yeah, it literally makes no sense, though. You want to establish a motive?
So, it was in self-defense.
Where have I heard of this before?
Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first.
This is literally the same fucking, con that Morgan tried to pull during Turnabout reunions. Trying to make it seem like, oh, Maya killed, was it Dr. What was the name of the doctor? Doctor... I don't remember. The doctor that died in Turnabout reunions. Making it seem like it was self-defense and trying to get her to confess to that. It's not gonna work twice. It didn't work the first time. Why is it gonna work now? Morgan! Come on, you're smarter than this. Or actually, probably not. You're all idiots, now that I think about it.
Mystic Elise. Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
And now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna have some fun with you. And Temple. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple.
Objection!
Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go?
It was in the inner temple's training hall?
A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay.
What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at the time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she?
No, that's Edgeworth.
I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
There. We all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor,
You strike Maya with her staff. Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. With what? She moved in to deliver a fatal strike, you say? Delicious. But that's over now. Okay. Let's get back to the game. Don't have tea to distract me anymore.
yes, I'm sure of it.
This is pathetic.
She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
Yeah, but that makes no sense considering her staff was literally a weapon in and of itself, you know? A dagger, huh? And Elise Doxton tried to stab her with this weapon to kill Miss Fey.
Yes, exactly.
Huh. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of
Worcestershire sauce?
Do you have a problem with the testimony you were hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
Oh, you didn't call me trite this time. I appreciate that much. Do I have a problem with Iris' testimony? Yeah! Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do? But this witness is your own client.
Yeah, well, nevertheless.
That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that.
Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Oh.
It's like he has Von Karma's confidence. I mean, Big Daddy Von Karma, but none of the skill. Holy shit, it infuriates me. At least Von Karma had the skills to back up him, you know, literally just leading the judge around with a fucking collar, you know? Step away and pull the dagger from inside her robe. That's very interesting. Temple. That is very intriguing. So you're saying it was self-defense, huh? And then...
Mystic Maya, she turned things around and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike.
Witness, are you absolutely certain?
Yes, but believe me, she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something...
Maya Fey's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead.
Yes, I see.
This is bad. I still can't put the pieces together. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony, Maya's going to get blamed for this.
I only have this to say. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
So you're saying Maya Fey was the one who stabbed Miss Elise Doxnam? Sister Iris, is that really what you saw? Considering it literally, like, doesn't make sense with, like, half of the clues in the entire court record are completely point to the fact that this is a lie.
Objection!
Right. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this.
That's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it.
There's only one thing you need to get, Trite. It's called evidence. Now hurry up before my next cup gets cold.
No, I will wait for your cup to get cold just so you can suffer. Is Gato waiting for me to point out the contradictions? Yeah, of course he is. I'd like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, but I think it might actually hurt our standing with the judge. First, I need to pick her testimony apart and expose the unnatural sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this, but there are two things I noticed that just don't add up.
Right.
She threw her staff away. See, this is what Gato does. He literally just sits back and does nothing. Literally nothing.
Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
It's true, it's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff.
I mean, it's not that hard. The staff is much better reached against someone who's short like Maya. A couple of whacks would knock her down, and then once she's on the ground, just keep whacking, and eventually she'll die. Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, it's odd, all right.
Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with the dagger. I'm sure of this.
All right, looks like we actually have to pull up our trump card literally in the start of the fucking trial. Well, this is gonna end well. Let me save first, though. All right. Yeah, okay. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Miss Doxnam throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you can do with that staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise Doxnam really wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. I mean, I don't know, that handle seems kind of clumsy. I wouldn't personally use that in combat. Like, a dagger might actually be an improvement over that. Like, that might just be ceremonial, you know? Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trite. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in the staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy, and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Oh, well...
Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important.
Well, it is, because it throws the witness's reliability into What? No, go back! You actually had a decent argument there for a second. God damn it, Gatto. This is why I fucking hate you. Like that was legitimately a decent argument. You had it in your hands. You had it clasped in your fist. You were right there. You could have actually made an intelligent argument for once. But no, you instead are like,
well, this doesn't fucking matter at all, actually.
like, of course it fucking matters, you numbskull!
The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey.
You know, I'm honestly not even mad at Dahlia for trying to kill you. I legitimately don't even think Dahlia tried to kill you for, like, revenge or because you were investigating her case or anything. I legitimately think she killed you because you were annoying and dumb.
As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony.
Although you actually seemed kind of smart back when you were just Diego, so maybe the poison fucking messed up your brain! It's the only logical explanation because he actually seemed competent when he was a defense attorney. But there is something strange about this whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. No, they don't!
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will not present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright! I have another piece of evidence that shows this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Doxton would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Yep, alright, we're pulling it off. I mean, should we present the evidence that she is Misty, or should we present the fact that she is Misty? But I guess we'll go with the profile. Elise Doxton would never have attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Doxton, and even if it was, she would have no motive, so good luck proving that in a court of law, although this judge does not do his job ever, so you probably could actually. In this court of law, specifically this one. No other one, but this one? Yeah, definitely, because this is a fucking kangaroo court! Ah! Her real name was Misty Fey. Oh. You got a Discord message? I did. Man literally is asking me to play fucking Overwatch. It literally says on my... It literally should say on... whatever. Oh my god. Idiots. Idiots. All of them. Her real name was Misty Fey. I can't deal with this shit right now. Fey! No! Not Mystic Misty Fey?
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to?
Misty Fey is the master of the Kurine channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Doxton actually the great mystic Misty?
Yeah, seems like she didn't know. There's no doubt about it. It was like she didn't know who she was being asked to help murder, I guess. It looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her own daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation as to why she would do such a thing.
I don't have the processing power to think of this.
Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough.
What? No, but...
Oh yes, she would never kill her own daughter, but some random woman that she had just met, of course she would try to kill her. That's perfectly reasonable. What?
What? Like, if anything, this is like a negative motive, but there was no motive in the first place, so this is... Oh my god. You know what, Judge? I love you sometimes, but god damn, you're slow.
In light of some facts that have just been presented, 1, that the victim supposedly threw away the sword during a fight, and 2, that the people battling to the death were mother and daughter. It sounds like straight out of an anime, where characters mysteriously get stronger when they drop their weapon and fight with their fists. I wonder where that is. Despite the fact being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe.
Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible. Except for one little thing.
Yes, what is this one little impossible thing?
You still don't get it.
What's impossible? For you to make a competent argument?
You think maybe my beans are under roasted? But you have no idea, Gramps.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Because it's like your beans, your brain, is supposed to represent your brain? Because if anything, I think they're over roasted. I think they're fucking fried. I think your brain got fried by the poison that Dahlia gave you, man. You need to see a doctor. You need to get your brain examined. I think there's some severe brain damage that you need to look into. Like, this needs to be fixed. This is legitimately... I think there's actually an issue with you, my man. I'm worried about you. Could you get to your point?
I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee.
You're going to ruin your health, my friend.
Maybe it's the coffee, actually. Although he drank coffee before the poison, so who knows?
Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty.
That does not have enough blood on it. Like, that is an inch. That is like a fucking inch worth of blood. Like, what, they just poked her once and she fucking croaked? Like, come on, man. Come on. Really? That's your murder weapon? That's your murder weapon. Please, take this sword, take it to the lab, do some luminol testing. I can assure you there's gonna be more blood on this thing. Like, where the fuck is Emma when we need her? Where the fuck is Emma Sky, the best companion in Ace Attorney history, because she was actually useful.
Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else?
Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it.
Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene.
Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene?
Huh? A pine tree?
Right. This dagger was stuck in the back side of the pine tree.
Are we blind?
When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
Which means the blood on the dagger belongs to the victim, correct?
Were you even listening, old man?
Yeah, this is fabricated, written all over it. Holy shit.
I first heard this confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee.
Didn't you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago? Okay, I legitimately think something's wrong with his brain, guys. I'm worried about him.
I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such a short notice.
In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately.
This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Sure. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately.
Found behind a tree in the inner temple garden. The blood is being analyzed now. Okay. It's entirely possible that that is not even the victim's blood. I mean, if the point of the dagger was a frame job, then you could just wet it in the victim's blood. But I mean, it's entirely possible that the dagger was not part of a frame job, and I don't know. It also literally just makes no sense. I mean, whatever, sure. Why not? It still doesn't explain motive. Motive, people! Motive!
Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
Cute girls never lie. Ever.
It's funny that you think that. Let's see. Let's count them down. Fuck, who was the girl in Turnabout Sisters? Whatever her name was. Right, Turnabout Sisters girl was an accomplice to the murder. Turnabout Samurai, that was Penny. She's fine. Oh, old bag. Oh, wait, no, she's not cute, so not there. Turnabout Goodbyes. Lotta, actually not cute either, so drop that one. Rise from the Ashes, Lana, probably one of the cutest girls in the entire series so far. Lied for like 10 years or something. I mean, it wasn't 10, it was more like 5, but you know what I mean. Like, for a fucking while, literally covered up an entire murder scene. Angel Star, also Rise from the Ashes. Lies, all of the lies. Fucking, so that's it for Rise from the Ashes. Then in the second game, we have The Lost Turnabout. That was no lying girls there. Peggy was fine, or Maggie was fine. Then Turnabout Reunion. Turnabout Reunions was oh, yep. Innie Miney, or I suppose her true name was actually Minnie Miney. So that's a fourth. Then Turnabout Big Top, we have Regina. That's another one. Oh wait, did Regina? Actually, no, Regina didn't lie. Regina didn't lie. She was just a bitch. So not Regina. So we can forget about her. Then Farewell My Turnabout. Adrian Andrews lied. And then we lied about her, but she lied, so it's fine. Then this game, we had... Fuck, what was the first case in this game? Oh, right. It was the first Turnabout. Dahlia Hawthorne. You know, serial killer. Fucking borderline serial killer. Mastermind of 3 of the 5 cases in this entire game. Yeah, that Dahlia. She fucking faked her own kidnapping to steal from her own family, then got her boyfriend the death sentence, murdered her sister, caused her boyfriend to commit suicide, tried to murder Gatto, then fucking murdered her other boyfriend and tried to pin it on her other boyfriend, which was Phoenix. Yeah! And now this whole thing. So, Dahlia Hawthorne. Then the stolen Turnabout. I don't think there were any liars in the stolen Turnabout. I mean, Andrew shows up again, but she doesn't lie that time. So, stolen Turnabout is fine. Then Turnabout, the what's it called? Recipe for Turnabout. Viola Cadaverini, Lone Shark, Arsonist, and Liar! And then, well, Turnabout, the case right before this, I forgot what it's called. Dahlia's there again, but we're not counting her twice. However, Dahlia's sister, who she then murdered, Valerie Hawthorne, most definitely lied, when she was in on the whole scheme, you know, before she got murdered. So that's 8. That's 8 cute girls who lied through their teeth, who murdered people. But cute girls never lie, ever, you know? Including the cute girl that almost murdered you! But sure, cute girls never lie, you know?
In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to the court. And, Mr. Wright, please stop counting down all the cute girls that have lied in this court. It's a waste of time and tremendously petty. Also, pretty much everyone lies in this goddamn court, so it's not surprising.
You know, he's pettier than me. He calls me Mr. Trite all the time.
What? I thought that was your name, right? Right!
No, it's right, not Trite.
Right, trite. Same thing, basically.
Motherfucker!
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw. The battle between the 2 women.
Yes, Your Honor. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern.
Luck. Message redacted. What the hell did you type? Thank you.
That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
Huh.
That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
But, so if they didn't know each other, why would they try to kill each other? We're missing a pretty big part here, you know? Like, this is kind of important information. Edgeworth would point this out in a heartbeat.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
Yeah, I will, but then Gatto's just gonna be like,
Actually, you need more evidence. Fuck you.
I would rather have someone like Von Karma who makes up evidence than someone who just asks me for more evidence. Jesus Christ. Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. Okay. She dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. What, is she a trained martial artist? You know how hard it is to steal a sword or a dagger from someone? There's a great saying. The loser of a knife fight dies on the streets. The winner of a knife fight dies in the emergency room. You know? Like, really? You expect me to believe that she just grabbed the sword out of her hand like some karate chop shit? What the fuck? Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. Okay. So when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise, Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. Seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible. Which means this faulty testimony must have another contradiction in it somewhere. But I can't see it right away, so let's go ahead and press. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all of this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck?
Well, so that doesn't make sense. If it was dark where they were, you shouldn't see them, not the other way around. It should have been dark where you were. But whatever. When she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
Well, that makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground.
It's a strong dagger. Just smashed against the stone lantern, didn't even chip? God damn, whoever made that shit should, yeah, I don't know, whoever made that shit should get promoted.
And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet.
What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her?
Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the
One on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. Okay. You're saying that Maya turned the tables on the victim.
Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly. I like to imagine Gumshoe just kneeling at the edge of the table with a coffee pot on the ground, and Gato is just like snaps his finger while I'm talking, and then Gumshoe's like, yeah, we're coming right up, sir. Brews a cup of coffee and then like just dramatically slides it down the desk for him.
Yeah, good work, detective. Each cup you send me, your salary goes up by 1 cent. As they say, the cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
She wasn't cornered, though. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified.
Your animal analogies have grown tiresome.
I'm sorry, that was your analogy. And they have grown tiresome, so I'm glad you're having this moment of self-reflection and understanding that you're an annoying piece of shit. You were the one who started it!
Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next?
Like, no, Gato is undeniably the dumbest prosecutor we've had. I would honestly, legitimately say Winston Payne was a better prosecutor than Gato. All he does is, can you prove that? Where's the evidence? Prove that, prove that, prove that, prove that, prove that. Like, it's so ridiculous. He just bullshits. He just bullshits some, like, smart-sounding shit. The judge eats it up, and because he has such a commanding and charismatic presence, the judge is like,
Yes, whatever he's saying must be true.
but all he ever does is just asks for more evidence upon evidence upon evidence. Like, I know that all of the prosecutors like to do that to some extent, but that's literally all he does. Like, at least the other prosecutors will present evidence of their own and do arguments and try to actually engage in the marketplace of ideas, you know? burden of showing evidence isn't always on the defense, is it? In the United States court system, the burden of proof is initially on the prosecution, but then obviously then the prosecution has the burden of proof. The defense simply needs to stop the prosecution from proving stuff. I have no idea how it works in the Japanese law system, although I've heard that it's a lot more skewed towards the prosecution side. And I know that the law system in this game is a fusion of the American and Japanese law systems made to be as unfair as physically possible on purpose to make it a challenging game. The game technically takes place in, Japanifornia, okay?
That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
Yeah, it's a mixture of the Japanese and Californian legal systems. But technically, it takes place in Japan in the Japanese version. It takes place in California in the English version. But the legal system is like a fusion of the two in both cases.
Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
In the story. Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. And the fact is, it's not even like that in the other game, because in the other games, the prosecution, I mean, yes, it is very much skewed towards the prosecution at all times, but the prosecution still needs to present evidence and make their case. Here, though, he literally just does whatever he wants, you know? And the judge is like,
Yeah, that sounds about right. He said it confidently, so I'm not gonna argue with him.
are you absolutely certain that's what you saw?
Yes, I'm almost certain.
Almost?
The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So, in other words, it could have been someone else entirely? This is just sad. This might actually be the worst testimony I've ever heard. Holy shit. Like, this is really bad.
Objection!
We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night. And that woman that was killed was Elise Doxnam.
Gato, please use what little semblance of a brain is left in that cranium, and please, bear with me here. So if Maya killed Elise, and then Iris took Elise's body back to the main temple, how the fuck did Maya lock herself in the inner temple when the locks are on the outside? The floor's yours. Floor's yours, Gato. Please explain to me how the fuck that works.
Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who?
No, not really. Yeah, sure, one of them ended up dead, but she could have been killed later. One of them was literally locked inside of the fucking cavern, and so she couldn't have won the fight. I don't have anything to counter that. Yes, you do! You're just dumb! Oh my god, Edgeworth would destroy this fool.
Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. Two of them faced each other for a moment. But then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes.
That's not deep enough to cause any kind of serious damage, though.
Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
Seems like a reasonable story at first, but... So that's from Mystic Elise said. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. Dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, it was struck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle.
That is the most likely explanation, yes.
After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away? Well, if they did, then where did the dying message come from? I'd actually completely forgotten about the dying message.
Now that I think about it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch.
I just had a stare down?
It felt like a moment. For a moment, like time had just stopped.
Oh, okay, so Mystic Maya developed stand-up power and used Zawarudo. Got it.
Then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over.
It's not a reasonable story, Phoenix. It makes no goddamn sense. Question is, do we have something that we can actually use here? Crystal Sphere, Larry's sketch, crime photo. Loss of blood from the stab in the back. Oh, there we go. Stab in the back. Yep, okay. Right, the thing is, I'm not sure what to contradict. It's either this or this. Because back to Stone Lantern means she would have been stabbed in the stomach, but the autopsy report clearly states she was stabbed in the back. So I'm gonna go with this one, since it also includes the image. Alright. Let's pull up that autopsy report. Yes, okay. So I'm thinking about what you just said isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such careless mistake. What are you talking about? She's made careless mistakes throughout her entire testimony. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the Stone Lantern, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right?
Yes, I think so.
But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in the back. This proves the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. I actually wonder, if you got stabbed and it was really cold, would the blood coming out of your body freeze into ice, thus preventing further bleeding? That would actually be an interesting concept. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and back. You get my drift?
Is that all you have to say?
That argument also doesn't even make sense, cause I mean, not that argument, that metaphor doesn't even make sense, cause like, you can flip over a book. In fact, before reading a book, you usually take a look at the back cover. It's usually got a summary here, but then again, I don't expect Gato has ever read a book in his life, so it's understandable that he wouldn't know this fact. You would die from cold blood? It's surprising how much the human body can sustain cold weather, actually. Like, you can actually survive in a room at, like, negative 200 Fahrenheit, which I have no idea how much that is in Celsius. I only know this specific temperature because I literally researched it, when we were playing, what's it called? 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Oh, 1 second. Alright, we're back. So yeah, when I was playing 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors earlier in the year, I ended up doing some research regarding something that happens in the game about how long a human could survive at negative 200 Fahrenheit, because that's the sublimation temperature of dry ice. They were in a room with a block of dry ice, and it was not sublimating, meaning that the temperature was at most negative 200 Fahrenheit. I have no idea what that's in Celsius. And I looked it up, and yeah, surviving like half an hour should theoretically be possible for a normal human wearing standard clothes, you know? So yeah, and below, you know, liquids freeze pretty quickly. I mean, heat transfers through liquids pretty quickly. So, I mean, it's possible that the blood, and also ice does not transfer cold very well. I mean, in the winter, the reason why a lake might freeze over the top, but not the entirety of the water just gets turned into a solid block of ice, is because the top layer will freeze over and it will act as an insulator, preventing the bottom of the water from getting cold enough to freeze over. That's why underneath, when a lake freezes over, you break the layer of ice and it's, you know, not... So if just the blood coming out and on top of the wound freezes over, I mean, yeah, it would be cold. It would be like having ice pressed up against your belly, but... Well, no, because the blood inside of your body is maintained, manages to maintain above freezing temperature due to the temperature of your own body all around it. But the blood that's already exited your body doesn't have heat all around it, so it can actually freeze over. And then the blood inside of your body, so essentially the blood that is outside of your, that has left your body freezes over and creates a layer of ice, and then the blood inside your body remains liquid. I don't know. I'm completely talking to my ass here if this was even possible, but I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be. I mean, from a physics perspective, it seems reasonable. Don't know how that would, you know, how that would work out with human biology though. Because perhaps the heat from the body would be enough to melt to prevent any ice from actually freezing over while it's on the body, you know?
I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Would you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of the testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff to people fighting being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims that the victim was stabbed in the stomach.
There certainly are some inconsistencies.
Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, witness has a testimony full of holes. Phoenix, this testimony is full of holes, and I have pointed them out one by one.
Gato, you're simply too naive, Mr. Trite.
What the fuck? Like, I don't know how anyone can believe that this man is smart.
There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee.
This is what he does! He obfuscates the truth with shitty metaphors!
Like, this is the, this is the Ben Shapiro debate technique, where you just act smart and say about a bunch of smart-sounding shit that has absolutely nothing to do with the actual argument at hand, and you just end up seeming smart and winning. Even if you have no idea what you're talking about.
But to pick out each one requires total concentration and use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said?
Please, for the love of God, do not say,
Well, but all that matters is who got stabbed, right?
I swear to God, if he says it, I'm gonna punch my fucking screen because he's on it.
Prosecutor Gatto, explain yourself!
A witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly.
Therefore, her testimony is not reliable. This is the only logical conclusion that can be drawn from that statement. Okay? So because the garden was dark and the testimony is unreliable by your own admission, we should just give her the benefit of the doubt and just assume that she missaw the staff sword, the direction in which the stab happened, but she actually saw them. So we should just conveniently assume that the only correct parts of her testimony were the ones that benefit the prosecution. Wow, okay. This is a very smart and intellectual argument, I'm sure.
A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light.
Also, eyes? I mean, you have that visor, which means you can't see red because your eyes are fucked up.
Light!
By the way, did you know Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit?
I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for.
Well, that's true.
Was that lantern on or off? I don't remember.
Shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, but, Your Honor, according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light the stone lantern.
Impossible?
It hadn't been used in a long time and the wick was no good. In other words, it had already been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
What about the light from the bridge that was on fire? Or perhaps the bridge wasn't on fire at that point. I guess that maybe makes sense.
Most enlightening.
Yes, that illuminating fact has chased away all the contradictions.
No, it hasn't! You can't just... This is the worst logic I've ever seen. Holy shit. It's like,
here's this witness confessing what she saw.
Well, actually, the X, Y, and Z are all the contradictions in the witness's testimony.
Actually, Trite, the testimony is unreliable, so the contradictions don't exist.
What? And even if we go with the concept that the sword and the location of the stab was all due to a misunderstanding due to low light conditions, that still doesn't change the fact that there is no motive for the attack. which this was never clear. We've completely skipped over the whole motive bit. We've just completely ignored it. Even though I brought it up, the court has just decided to move on to bigger and better things, apparently.
If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lure in the dark night. That's why humans are weak.
So if they didn't recognize each other, why would they try to kill each other? Why would she go up to a random girl in the middle of the night, pull out her cane sword, and just be like, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." Like, what the fuck? It makes no sense. You are actively making your case worse with every statement you utter.
Isn't that right, Trite?
No! God.
Order!
I can just imagine. Edgeworth is actually standing right outside the courtroom with his fucking ear pressed up against the fucking door with a cup, listening in on everything Gordo is saying and just laughing his ass off like, oh, he did not seriously just say that? What the fuck is he on? What kind of drugs were in that coffee? Like, that's a fucking, like, what is that? Like, that's the only thing I can imagine Edgeworth doing right now.
Here, Your Honor, let me present the stone lantern into evidence.
He just brought the lantern with him. He just dragged it into court.
Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Stone lantern added to the court record.
Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? I mean, it is California. He could have, spiked his coffee with weed.
What's wrong, Your Honor? Was the flame too hot?
This lantern! There's something written on it!
Yes. We've not gone. Fine. Okay. We'll go through the dying message and prove why it's a contradiction. Prove why it was forged. Okay. It's just wasting time. We can do this. This is fine.
Why? It's written in blood!
And of course, Gato can't see it because he can't see red. We all know this. Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet.
Written in blood?
It says Maya upside down.
What the?
Oh yes, that's right. You didn't think this might be an important piece of evidence to present to the court before? Considering the fact that your entire testimony hinges on Maya being a murderer and a dying message seems like a pretty compelling piece of evidence? Okay, Iris, Gato, this is something I can excuse because this is literally a disability, and I cannot fault him for not being able to see the color red. If anything, that's Dahlia's fault. But really? You wouldn't bring this up? After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body. This is amazing. This is actually amazingly bad. I love how literally minutes ago, I was like, well, they wouldn't actually, why would they kill each other? Why would Elise try to kill Maya, knowing that Maya was her daughter? And then Gato's response was,
Well, it was dark, so maybe she didn't know the identity of Maya. She didn't know it was her daughter.
and now we're going back on that and saying that she actually did know it was Maya, because otherwise she wouldn't be able to write the dying message, guys. She could only write the dying message. She could only write the dying message if she knew that it was Maya. But your whole argument so far has rested on the fact that she didn't know it was Maya. If she wrote the dying message, then she knew it was Maya, then she wouldn't attack it. You need to prove a clear motive, because oh my god. You just shot your own case in the foot so fucking hard. It's unbelievable. It's so amusing watching these little runts run around. They're like children.
It certainly looks that way.
Hang on just a minute.
Oh, right, Gato didn't actually know about the dying message. So, okay, his argument about them not being able to recognize each other wasn't dumb because he lacked critical information. Now I wonder if he's going to be able to put 2 and 2 together and realize the fact that this actually just shoots down his entire argument. But I highly doubt it considering his track record.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What are we all talking about?
We're talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle.
Could it be... He can't see the bloody writing at all? Yes, we've already established this previously. I don't know why this is a surprise to you, right? Why is this a surprise to anyone? Why is this Did Gato just forget the fact that he can't see the color red? Like, hold on. Like, did he just forget? Why is he confused by this? Like, he knows that he can't see the color red, right? He didn't just forget. Now that I think about it, he did say something to me yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
So that's what he meant by that. We've literally gone over this in a previous trial, holy shit.
In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Gato, anything further? Mr. Gato!
Okay then, let's move on.
Gato was literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from the caffeine overdose.
I believe it has now been established that Miss Doxton was killed by Misty Fey.
Okay, sure, we'll go with that. I don't care. Just convict her. Say she's guilty. I don't care. I'm done with this fucking game. I can't take this stupidity anymore. It's just wrong.
Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears.
Oh my god, and Phoenix is too dumb to point it out anyways. So we're just gonna let that whole thing slip by. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... I used the Shichishito to alter the way the wound looked.
That would certainly alter the wound, alright.
So you moved the body?
Yes, I was raised at the Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Doxton was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate.
I believe you're looking for twist of fate, Your Honor.
I intend to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but...
You were spotted by the head nun, correct?
Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm losing brain cells right now. I'm legitimately getting lightheaded. Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. Okay, that's fine. That was the duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself.
I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge, then used the snowmobile to hurry it back to Hazakura Temple. Okay, but I'm pretty sure neither you nor Sister Bikini actually knew Maya's true identity, did you? So then you knew the significance of the name Maya Fey.
Yes, of course I did.
That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position.
Anyway, she was a very special person indeed.
So I removed the body from the inner temple myself. Why did you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved her body all by yourself?
Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow.
The snow, huh? Yeah, it probably made dragging the body pretty easy.
I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge.
Okay. It's pretty amazing you can make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge.
It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy, despite its age.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold.
But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into Eagle River? Yeah. It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple.
I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Huh. Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being.
Oh fuck, I think I skipped something.
Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge?
Right, again, Gato just like,
I don't care about the contradictions, just keep going. The judge doesn't care either, because I say he doesn't care.
the snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge.
There's the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for details? Tracks! You really did move her body by snowmobile. There should be tracks left in the snow, right?
Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks.
A picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are the tracks from the ride?
Yes, I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here.
I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple.
I see. Snow was still falling, huh?
And then, when the murder took place, it had already stopped.
When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Therefore, after 10:50 p.m. Lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45 p.m. Huh? Well, ain't that something? I mean, it also lines up with my theory that the body was actually chucked across the burning bridge, meaning that it wasn't dragged across.
That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony?
That's quite important. The murder took place, the snow had already stopped. That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Irish just made added to the testimony.
But does it have something to do with the case?
It's 5:11 a.m., maybe catch the next stream. Alright, yeah, see you later, Narukami. That will be tomorrow for Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne / Lucifer's Call HD Remaster featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record.
Huh. This should be fun. You. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, well, thanks for being here, you. See you tomorrow. Hopefully. Time murder took place. No, it already stopped. Oh. Oh, what's that bitter smell I sense?
Well, that's just my coffee, right?
No, it's not quite coffee. It's got a bit of sourness to it too. Oh, I think that's the smell of bullshit. Okay, wrong piece of evidence, I guess. Well, that would have been a lot cooler if that had actually worked. There have been a lot of contradictions to your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true? Yes, I am. When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks are so clear. That's right. I'm certain of it. I think I've trapped her this time. Alright, so I had to press.
Let's see how you think. Snow, huh?
What is going on here?
If snow had really stopped by the time of the murder, it means there's a bigger hole in the story than the movie The Grid Revelations. Is this supposed to be The Matrix?
Huh. Well then, Mr. Trite, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. Let's see what's up your sleeve, or rather, at the end of your index finger.
I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? Only one reason I can think of. To protect someone else. Okay, now. It is this, I just don't know what to contradict it with. Hood, weather data, victim staff, autopsy report, tracks photo, crime photo. It's fine, sketch. So it might be the... See, that's what's interesting. I remember when we originally found the crystal sphere, the original text said that it was found half buried in snow, meaning that it kept snowing for a little bit after the sphere was dropped. However, the sphere was clearly dropped after the murder, therefore the murder must have taken place before the snow stopped, right? I think this might be it? Let's try it.
Objection!
No? Damn it, I know it's this. Snow had already stopped. Yeah, let me save so that we don't have to restart this whole thing all over again if I fail. Temple map. Misty Fey image. Photo of Elise, the hood. Stab in the back. Courtyard. Sketch. Spear. Master's Talisman. Burnt Letter. Dagger. Lantern. I can't think of anything other than the weather data. I mean, the bridge was literally, I mean, if we go by her assertion that the murder took place after it stopped snowing, then maybe we use the autopsy report? Because it stopped snowing around 11? If it's the autopsy report, I'm gonna be really mad, because that's actually dumber than using the weather data. It's not the autopsy report, thank God. That would have just been dumb. Cult magazine, Azure Temple, Hanging Scroll. Only people, Larice Doxnin. Report. Misty Fey. What about? I doubt there's any profiles that help me out here. Did I misclick and use the wrong item instead of the weather report? It has to be the weather report, right? It's not, though. A lot of contradictions. This time, murder happened, the snow had already stopped. Someone's telling the murder, it means there's a bigger hole in her story. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. Why would she do that? There's only one reason I can think of. Oh no! This doesn't make sense! Secrets in their hearts, a cult magazine, Hazakura Temple map. Shoe, loss of blood, tracks photo. Shouldn't be the tracks photo, that makes no sense. Prime photo, again, that's fine. Larry's sketch, probably fine. Crystal Sphere, Kurine Master's Talisman. Bay opened once before. I'm clueless here. Alright, fuck it. I'm gonna go through them one by one. Because I legitimately have no idea. It's obviously not the attorney's badge, but you know. It's not the Magatama. I swear, it's gonna be something absolutely bullshit. Watch it. Like, the weather data is the only thing that makes sense. Maybe the autopsy report, but even that, not really. I already did the purple ball. That was the second thing I tried. The only two things that make sense are the weather data and the purple ball. I tried both of them. They're the first two things I tried, hence my lost health. Like, that's why I saved after them, because they were the only 2 tries that I thought were legitimately made sense. The other things, now I'm just throwing shit at the wall, hoping it sticks. I swear, it's gonna be something so dumb. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. I was just trying to pin them. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, let's try pressing on some of the other statements. So you waited until everything was over before making a move.
No, it's not like that.
Objection.
She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. Not surprising that she was a little timid.
Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion.
Isn't your job as the judge to mediate the argument? That actually explains a lot.
It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on me what she had done.
Duty to protect the future master. Now I've already pressed on all the other stuff. Guess back to using random evidence. What the hell? This is dumb. This is just dumb. Really? Not the weather. This is actually dumb. What? It's gonna be like the last thing I would ever think of. I'm legitimately going to be surprised when I present one thing and the music stops, indicating that it was right. I'm gonna be so fucking shocked out of my mind. Because I legitimately have there's no conceivable way any of these are it. See, not the tracks photo. Like, the tracks photo corroborate her story. But hey, you never know with this game. Not the crime photo, because again, the photo proves that the body was placed after the snow was stopped, but not killed. That's a different thing. The bridge is on fire, look at that! She wouldn't have been able to cross the fucking bridge. But nope, I guess she just dragged a body across a burning bridge, and neither her nor the body received any kind of fire damage. Apparently fucking spirit medium clothes are fireproof. I don't know if you knew that. It's little known lore. The ball, which is actually one of the 2 pieces of evidence that would make sense, actually doesn't work. Because fuck me. What about the talisman? It's not the talisman. Again, I have no reason to believe it would be the talisman, but I mean, it's gotta be one of these, right? A burnt letter? No. What do you mean try weather again? We've already tried it twice. The lantern? Wait. That's every piece of evidence we have. I'm sorry, about what? Okay, let's go through this. So you wait until everything was over before making a move. Right, we've already seen that. Yes, it's true. Isn't your job. Okay. That it was the duty to protect the future master. You knew. Of course she did. That's odd considering Bikini didn't. But of course, we're not actually going to bring this up in court. Because why would we? Why would we bring critical information up in court? That would be silly of me. Special person indeed. Move the body from the inner temple myself. Move the body from the crime scene. Also for the snow. I mean, all the way across Dusky Bridge. Oh! There's no game sound? That's weird. There we go. I think I fixed it. Is that... Oh, yeah, there we go. It's better now. Is that... Huh. Interesting. I think I accidentally turned it off. Sorry about that. Should be good now, though. Easy, you can make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. Actually, here, I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of that. Quit. Yeah. Yeah, should be fixed now, hopefully. Let me know if that happens again, please. Thanks for telling me. That could have been bad. And all across the rickety old bridge. Worse than this. Yeah, well, I'd say it certainly would look quite bad if it was on fire, right? Throw the body into Eagle River. Snowmobile. What if we asked for the snowmobile itself? I hear more about the snowmobile ride. Well, it was very cold that night, so we went all the way to the foot of the bridge.
Objection!
That's fair.
I'm sorry, witness. But now I've got a problem with your testimony.
What? Excuse me? Gato, what are you up to now?
That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates.
Let's call her comments on the subject.
Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple,
It was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean.
well, right, she... Like, we theorized that she actually left on the snowmobile after Bikini arrived at the temple, specifically for this reason, right? Like, I'm pretty sure we've established this already.
That snowmobile was in front of the main gate. It's one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say?
Order! Mr. Gatto! Why are you pointing out contradictions to the witness's testimony?
Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay?
This might be the only time he's actually been able to use critical thinking skills, but, like, it's not even that big of a contradiction. Like, we just... If we just assume, right? Okay, so Sister Bikini met up with Sister Iris at the Inner Temple just at 10 p.m., right? We know it takes 15 minutes to go from the temple to the bridge, and then another 5 minutes to cross the bridge and get to the other temple. So, since they met at 10, and Sister Bikini went back to the main temple right after, she should have arrived at the main temple at most at 10:30, but probably 10:20. Meaning that if Iris waited until Sister Bikini arrived at the temple and went to the path, she would have most definitely had enough time to go all the way to Dusky Bridge, head across, witness the murder, and then bring the body back. I mean, if she claims that the murder took place after the snow ended, that means the murder took place sometime around or after 10:50. And we know that at most the murder took place at 11, so likely 10:50 to 10:11. That gives her 20 minutes to get from the main temple to the inner temple, which is actually possible on foot, let alone snowmobile. So, I don't... Wait, this is not a contradiction, Gato.
Well, maybe Sister Bikini missed it. Yeah, maybe she didn't see it.
You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right.
Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time and effort. It's just, you better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Yes, sir. What's that all about? Oh, Gato want to give me a hint.
Very well, then let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile all the way to the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
Yes, I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected. So I thought anyways, and then I...
So we ask about the tracks. So did we actually need to ask about the snowmobile itself for that to be, There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true?
Yes, I am.
When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear.
That's right. I'm certain of it.
You have trapped her this time.
See how you think. Snow, huh?
What is going on? If the snow had really stopped by the time of the murder, it means there's a bigger hole in her story than the movie The Grid Revelations.
Huh. Well then, Mr. Trite, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. See what's up your sleeve, or rather, at the end of your index finger.
I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. What did she do? There's only one reason I can think of. I am completely stumped. What about the Shichishito? Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you?
Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst.
Probably, more like definitely. She testified to it.
I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one who murdered Miss Doxnam.
So sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing.
Murder took place. It's this! It has to be! Photo release, Iris's hood, regional weather data, Shichishito, victim staff, Elisa's autopsy report, tracks photo, time photo, Larry's sketch, crystal sphere. I can't. Alright, fuck it. I've literally presented every single fucking piece of evidence in my thing, unless there's something in the fucking profile section? Inner temple went missing. She was found at the inner temple. Homicide detective. Bad back really bothers her. Master of the Korean channel. Doesn't have any spiritual power. Larry Butts, unbelievable sight. Manfred von Kramer's daughter. Old friend. She was executed last month. Yeah. This. Alright, well fuck it. I'll look up. I'm looking up a guide. Shit. Attorney. Tribulations guide. Cause god damn it, we've been at this same question for how long now? Like half an hour, I'd say, right? There we go. Bridge to the turnabout. The battle, Sister Isis cover up. Press the 5th statement, ask about the tracks. What? So it ends. So it says to present the weather data, but on the 4th statement? What? One, two, three. This? I am done with this fucking game. Like, I guess it's that the snow had stopped, therefore the weather data was, therefore the bridge was already on fire, therefore you couldn't have dragged that across the bridge, but like... What? That... But it just seems so... But that's so odd. That's way too odd. Like, yeah, I see it now. But it just seems so random. Like, why wouldn't it be on the other statement? But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. You couldn't have crossed the dusky bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge? It was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike the bridge burnt down!
What? But it can't be. It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. But apparently this game can just be dumb with what it wants me to contradict. No!
Order, order, order!
The bridge was really already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body.
Witness, even my patience has limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Objection!
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man.
Me? How dare you?
Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now.
Can't fire be small? The fire literally burned down the entire bridge. Squat?
The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right?
Yes, of course, but
Whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Doxson was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Isis desecrating Elise Doxson's body.
Right, so we're just gonna ignore the fact that it is physically impossible for her to have actually witnessed the murder scene. Right, okay, we're just gonna ignore that, pretend that didn't happen. Okay, good, cool. He makes a good point on both accounts. No, he doesn't! You're just dumb and easily impressionable. That's right, I'm not lying.
what are you claiming this time?
I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy.
You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
Objection!
It is only human to err.
Therefore, her testimony should be thrown out. Glad you agree with me, Gato.
If you're so perfect, Trite, maybe you can explain this to the court.
What is it?
When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard.
I actually can explain it. Not fully, but better than you can. So I don't understand what the issue is here. We've already established that this is how it happened. So I don't know why you're asking me to prove how it happened. You're the one who has to prove how it happened. Because if you can't, you don't have a case.
Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick.
Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt bridge. Unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation.
You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth.
This is the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. Yes, I can, because literally, like, half of her testimony is contradictory, and she herself has admitted that she doesn't even remember it all that well, meaning that her testimony is not reliable, you know? And it physically can't be the truth. It doesn't, just because you're not smart enough to explain what the actual truth is, doesn't mean that you can turn your back from it. The truth is that that bridge is on fire, you know? Oh my god. I completely threw out Mr. Kubo's testimony and recipe for turnabout, despite the fact that it was legitimately a like less contradictory testimony than this shit.
All right then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation to that of your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony?
Alright. I'll probably end it after this, because this has really just drained my energy. Holy shit. Moving the body.
Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. When the snow was still falling, or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Are you saying there's a way to cross a burning bridge?
Yes, actually, and in fact, it's the only way it's possible.
So it's just a misunderstanding. I see.
Oh my god.
There's a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident.
It certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall.
Yikes.
Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge.
Unless... I think I've figured it out. The body was... No, that doesn't really make any sense, though. That's really dumb. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. I thought that perhaps they tied the body to the suspension wire, swung it under the bridge, which then swung up on the other side and landed on the other side. The issue with that is that how would the body wouldn't be able to be detached from the it wouldn't be able to be detached mid-swing. So no, that's just dumb. Like, it could have gotten the body across, sure, but the body would not have landed. It would just have swung back and ended up just hanging on the middle of the bridge, so. I still don't know what the mechanism is like. Morning after the bridge of the crime. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder.
Try it. I'm gonna say this one more time. It's only human to err. And only humans could
The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. He never makes any sense. He's just spouting bullshit.
All right, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination.
Dear Lord. Moving the body. Walking the bridge, there's no way to move the body. Okay. Just gotten confused, I guess. No, still falling, or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Yes, it really fucking does! Because it completely... The entire case hinges on this fact. This is no joke. You're giving sworn testimony in a court of law. Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today? Huh? Well, it was... Naturally, it was... Well, I didn't witness a murder, thank you very much. You see, it's not that easy to remember, is it? But if I had been some kind of special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring on the day of my elementary school graduation.
Objection!
No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, right?
What? But Edgeworth always likes to hear about my childhood traumas.
I think that speaks more about Edgeworth than it says about anyone else. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. You insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Snow shows some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire.
There's a way to cross the burning bridge. Come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out. But how do you transport a body across a burning bridge? And if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all of my evidence and see where that takes me. I've gotta be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm as good as dead. Not all sharks. Some sharks are able to breathe without moving, though. So, some sharks are fine. Because shark is actually a broad category, and there's a fuck ton of species of shark, and they're all completely different. Very distantly related. No way to move the body. Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place, I couldn't have crossed the bridge, naturally. But I think it's just like, I think it's just like Mr. Gatto said. Buddy did make it across somehow. Right, do we have proof that the snow actually stopped? Leaves, holo data, Shito victim staff. I mean, yeah, theoretically the snow could have stopped right after she crossed the bridge. I suppose that would still work out. And then everything else works out. Dusky Bridge photo. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that proves that the blood had stopped. But you seem to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped. I'm terribly sorry, I was wrong. But that calls into question the entire legitimacy of your testimony. You can't just say that so casually. Does she really think an apology is gonna get her off the hook? I'm gonna go get a drink real quick. I'll be right back, because I'm getting lightheaded from this. Alright? Give me a second. Okay, we're back. Jesus Christ. Right. So continue. Does she really think an apology is gonna get her off the hook? Falling doesn't matter. Are you saying there's some other way to cross the burning bridge? Well, I don't see why there couldn't be a way across.
Mr. Wright, don't you think that sounds a bit silly? A dead body crossing a burning bridge? Did anyone actually witness such a thing?
Yes!
Yes.
If there was, I don't think you'd call someone like that a witness.
Oh, funny you say that, considering they are a witness, and their entire testimony is in the court record, and apparently you didn't read up on the first day of the trial proceedings for some reason? Like, what did Gato just say?
Alright, right's on the case. Von Karma, I'm taking this case now.
And then she was like, all right, here are the files detailing everything that happened today at court, so you know exactly what...
Files? I can't read. What the hell where are the pictures? Throw all this testimony, that's useless. I don't care. That'll basically be like we're starting the case all over from scratch anyways.
Like, what? Did he not read Larry's testimony? Or, sorry, Laurie's.
After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something.
From all this way, so I owe it to everybody to figure it out. But how do you transport a body across a burning bridge? And if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all of my evidence and see where that takes me. Got it. Okay, yeah, sure. No! Damn it, I skipped it. Damn it! The testimony's too short, I keep overshooting. Okay, here we go. And I suppose let's give the picture a try. There we go. Beautiful. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility.
What? You're saying it's possible. Don't make me laugh.
Damn it. Got it? Piece of shit. Okay.
The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air.
I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Preposterous!
Man straight up didn't read the testimony from yesterday. Oh my god, I was joking. I was actually joking. I thought he like didn't realize it or forgot. He straight up didn't, or like was playing dumb. Nope, he didn't read the testimony.
Who was it? Who was this witness?
I can't chicken out. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elise Doxnim's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Laurice Doxnim.
Brilliant!
Highly gifted.
Apprentice? Remember when what he said in his testimony? That night, he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the incident. I think we've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Tell him, Phoenix.
Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it?
What day is it, actually? In-game, I mean.
Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? Are you using this pathetic scribble to support your argument?
And you're using... Uh-oh. Judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. There we go.
Huh. Well, Trent, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than...
Yep, see you in a bit, Luck.
Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything?
It's witness testimony, just as reliable as your garbage. Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm gonna prove it.
Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down.
It is called the turnabout, yes.
If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch?
Upside down? Why did Gato say that?
All right then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
Is it actually? It is. The ropes on the bridge are actually on the bottom side of the bridge. Meaning that yes, that sketch is indeed upside down. So the person in question isn't above the bridge, they're below it. Wait! Does this mean my swinging across the bridge using the rope theory is actually gonna pan out? Because that is way too stupid. Oh god.
What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whisker's face is gonna forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. Oh no! What have I done? Oh shit, I'll fix it later. This sketch drawn by Laurie's Doxdom is evidence of nothing, a complete contradiction. Exactly what happened. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh. Now, Phoenix, turn it upside down.
You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness.
What? That was the last thing I wanted to hear.
Do you have any evidence that the victim flew through the air?
Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the inner temple yet.
I wish they had. No, I didn't mean literally. God, that they were literally flying. Damn it.
Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment.
Say the same thing about you, but you're not entertaining, you're just annoying.
I think we should skip the penalty this time.
Must be some way, I just know it. There must be some use to Larry's sketch to show the truth of what happened.
All right then, the witness will now return to her testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. Fuck you, I don't need your help. Give me that fucking penalty. Give me that fucking penalty. Right, use the sketch. Comes back to this. Oh my god. Admit that I didn't really understand it before, but I get it now. That's why I believe this sketch shows the truth.
Very well. All right then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whisker's face is going to forgive any more mistakes. Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. Sketch thrown. Evidence of nothing, a complete contradiction. Something is obviously funny about this sketch.
I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Laurie's Doxdom stated it over and over, that this sketch was exactly as he saw it, and he was staring at it upside down. However, if we're to believe his testimony, this sketch contradicts reality as we know it, because the rope should be attached to the bottom of the bridge. It contradicts reality.
Huh. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Trite, so what exactly contradicts reality as we know it?
The ropes. This wire connected to the bridge.
The wire!
Huh. That thing that contradicts reality. Is that the thing that contradicts reality?
It is indeed.
And shows the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Yeah. Show something will point out how the sketch contradicts reality. The bridge photo.
That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct?
Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard. The wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge,
Jumping Jehoshaphat!
the wires are below the guard wires.
What? Order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong?
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong.
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong.
No, I'm right. Phoenix right. With someone like Laurice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begets the question. Why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Laurice was doing when he witnessed this event? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited and finally he laid down. Then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. They ponder what sort of position Laurice must have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back. I can't see how this relates.
But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ah!
No way.
Laurice Doxum witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
So then, the sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Laurice Doxum's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. Alright, and we actually see it, the person being swung across the bridge over to this side. Or under the bridge. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum. Oh my god, I was right. I didn't want to be right. This is too stupid.
Ridiculous! Order!
Of all things to say, a pendulum.
The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used a burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And the pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Objection.
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about as far from the inner temple. About that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff.
Yeah, that sounds right.
In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you'd have to plan ahead.
Not really. There was one right there. The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit could have prepared beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them.
What?
I'm saying it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum?
Well, the picture you yourself submitted as evidence, Gato.
And the meaning of this is...
If you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there, in front of your glorious beard.
Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge!
And the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire. One of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Doxnum's body. But how does it get released? That doesn't make any sense! Because there was simply no other way to move the body. That's a big cup of coffee if it's lasting that long. Jesus!
Mr. Gatto! It seems that Mr. Gatto is more focused on his coffee than answering the question. It seems that the odds of the rope being readily available were very high. So I suppose that is not an impossibility after all.
Objection.
Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask.
What?
There's only one question. Did that really happen? Try it. I wonder if you can prove what happened to us.
Well, can you prove what you said happened? Why do I have to prove everything?
Do you have any evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum?
Yes, the autopsy report and the 10 feet that fell. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Right, and based on physics, if it swung down and at the bottom of the trajectory, it got to 10 feet below the bridge, then when it swung back up again, it should have at most reached 10 feet over the bridge, then landed on the ground as if it had fallen 10 feet. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see that it was in front of the inner temple.
So then, that was the spot where the criminal...
Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movements by looking at the overhead map again. The body was pushed from this point here. It would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. Would you like to take a look at this updated autopsy report? It's not updated, but it is kind of an Edgeworth moment. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
And most likely the height difference between the two sides. Body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal is the one that came off of Miss Elise Doxnum's staff. Alright, so we've established the method. Cool. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed! I believe it is already marked on this overhead map. The crystal was found. Ah!
Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright!
I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Gatto?
Gumshoe another cup.
Yeah, pal.
That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trite. You forgot about one thing.
Oh, and what would that be?
The aroma. Coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese. Can you elaborate a little more?
Criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you said. And naturally, there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice?
Criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite?
I mean, theoretically, the murderer could have swung across the bridge with the body. That would actually explain how the body was let go. If the criminal grabbed the body and then hold on to the body and then held onto the rope while they swung across and then let go of the rope, and that would explain everything.
Mr. Gatto is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice.
Very well, then. If you please, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who was the person that received the body on this side, on the Hazakura Temple side?
It must have been Iris. There's no other way.
Take that!
It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? Oh, you're my defense attorney. I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini would never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could manage it.
Objection!
Trite, were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath.
Objection!
I haven't forgotten, but have you, Gatto? Thing is, this witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, and she was on the other side of the bridge after the bridge burnt down, which is why she was found at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using a sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I've established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred. Something you must have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it would be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. What? How could you say that, Mr. Wright?
What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Objection!
Are you serious, Strike?
Who could it be?
You mean this woman is...
No one beside Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. This is Dahlia, not Iris. But if this is Dahlia, someone must be channeling her. And it can't be Pearls. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand, her real name is... Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Hawthorne?
Sister Iris has a twin sister, and you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, you had it on hand. I wonder why.
Oh yes, I remember now. A case 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. Just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
And the honor is all mine.
Oh, the honor is all mine. But, according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month.
So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom.
It's a bold statement. It's a bold statement.
What? Order, order! Mr. Gatto, are you insinuating that there is a ghost testifying in my court right now?
Oh, wait a moment. How could you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Kurain channeling technique flows within that body.
A Kurain channeling technique? Oh, where have I heard that?
So are you saying that this is Iris channeling Dahlia? I suppose it makes sense. That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. But Iris supposedly had no spiritual powers unless that was all a lie.
What an exquisite story. Exciting, but quite impossible.
The thing is, if she is the murderer and she actually swung the body across, then she should know about the pendulum, right?
You're asking us to buy the Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was.
See, that's the thing, because the whole train of logic is that Iris should know about the pendulum, but if we're insinuating that Dahlia committed the murder, then she should know about the pendulum too. This doesn't make any sense. Well, if you're gonna put things that way, then yes.
Objection.
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens?
Actually, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of the plan from the very beginning. It's all written down here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fey. The plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple.
Two of them.
Even the time of the channeling was planned out. as soon as you hear the lights out bell. In other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris.
And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her. Namely, one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Objection!
Do you even know what you're saying, Triton? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans to talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. Witness currently standing in the stand is the real Iris.
What?
Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini and Dahlia Hawthorne, that Dahlia Hawthorne had been channeled.
After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled. Okay, there we go.
Would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hasakura Temple main hall. That's where they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yeah, I suppose. Can't deny any of that.
Oh, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
Something still seems off. Way off. Still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night.
Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places?
Switched places?
But of course they did. That's exactly what happened. Because last night, Iris got loose from the police for a certain period of time. There was a certain period of time during the earthquake when Edgeworth was having a panic attack that her whereabouts were completely unaccounted for. More than enough time for her to undo the trick locks, switch places with Dahlia, and set up more locks. Capiche?
To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. The question is, who's channeling Dahlia then? It's not Pearls. The only person it could be is Maya, right? The question is, how do they convince her to channel Dahlia?
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
There was one. Your Honor. I think there might have been one chance.
Oh, explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there's a certain amount of time where Iris is able to move freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move around freely like that?
I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to freely move about was Miles Edgeworth.
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Yeah, our boy. Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
Earthquake?
Earthquake? Oh my goodness! The inner temple! That kind of tremor, right? How could I have? She fled. She escaped.
We went to the inner temple right away. It's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here, no judge's right mind would consider channeling us.
Be quiet. There she is. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice!
Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession.
And this one is a liar, and that is written in the court record from several years ago. You can check it out yourself. In fact, I'm pretty sure you know that.
That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne, and my current profession, permanently retired.
Retired!
Huh. So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again, and I never thought we'd meet like this. This time I'll end it. For her and for myself. To be continued. Alright, fucking finally! Jesus Christ, it's been 3.5 hours. That's insane. Alright, yeah. We're gonna end it here, and, well, I assume the game is going, we're gonna be finishing the trilogy next time. Oh, that's so exciting. It's the finale. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much have basically this case in the bag. I mean, my whole theory was correct. I just thought she was launched over somehow. In reality, she swung underneath, although that's actually kind of a plot hole, because how did the rope disconnect? That's not how ropes work. But whatever, I'll let it slide for now. What's interesting about this is we need to see the mechanics of what actually happened at the temple, because we pretty much know everything that happened outside of the inner, on the other side of the bridge. What we really need to know is what happened. And also, the way we kind of figured this out was kind of weird, kind of wonky, because Phoenix's logic was that Iris was the accomplice. Therefore, she knew about the pendulum. Therefore, she would not have been surprised by it. However, since if Dahlia was the murderer, then she should have known about the pendulum anyways, you know? So why doesn't she know about the pendulum? Is it a plot hole? Or is there something deeper going on, and perhaps Dahlia isn't the murderer after all? It's a possibility. It most certainly is. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. And yeah, we'll be, I assume, finishing the game on Thursday. I'm not sure. I mean, it's always possible that they go into another investigation and then another day of trials, but honestly, I feel like this has kind of run its course, you know? But, you know, if you could pull a Rise from the Ashes and absolutely turn the case on its head on the second day, and then we'll have to investigate more. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And with that, I'll be leaving it here. I'll be live tomorrow with Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. And then after that, the day after, we'll be finishing out the Ace Attorney trilogy. Oh boy. Oh, that's gonna be kind of sad. We've been playing this game for over this trilogy for over a year now. You know, it's a core part of the channel, you know? Oh yeah, and by the way, once we reach 100 subscribers, I'm planning on watching and streaming my reaction to the Ace Attorney anime. I'm gonna marathon the whole thing. We'll do a watch party. It'll be fun. It'll be amazing once we hit 100 subscribers. And yeah, then we'll be live Saturday with Danganronpa and Sunday with Persona 4. And then it cycles every week, you know? And yeah, if we do manage to finish Ace Attorney, then I'll probably end up moving, Nocturne to 3 days a week rather than 2. Rather than 1. So we can try to finish Nocturne up fast in time for Shin Megami Tensei 5. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and thanks for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and join our Discord down in the description. Later.